It's happening for the first time since November 2021. Ethereum has not hit these levels since then, since all the way back here, November 2021. We have not hit this high before. We tried once again. We tried back in March. We got rejected. We tried again back in May. We got rejected. We tried, and that was last year. We tried again. We got above this trend line here. We tried again in December. Everybody got really hopeful, and we fell off a cliff, and just about everybody lost hope. Then we started recovering. We had a little resistance, and boom, big breakout. Let's give a round of applause for Ethereum. A small golf clap. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let me know in the comments what you think. I am very happy that I was accumulating some down here. All right. So who else was accumulating at the lows when there was extreme fear in the market? We did get the Ethereum ETFs approved last year, and boy, was that initially not a good sign for the Ethereum price chart. Finally, we are recovering here, and we are getting closer and closer to new all-time highs for Ethereum. Now, what could that lead to? We'll be talking about that as we can look at what Ethereum has done historically and when altcoins broke out. I'll give you a little hint. It happened right here in 2021. Altcoins went to the moon when Ethereum broke out to new all-time highs right there. And let's take a look at what I was saying in my previous video, because I'm all about integrity. I talked about us heading into a major market shift. All right, and I said it was going to happen around August 10th, around there. And that was arguably right when we broke out of this major resistance. See, we were holding this resistance around 4,100. We were staying below that for an entire year, more than a year. We dumped hard, and we have finally broken out of that. We could call that a major market shift. Okay, so I think I'll pat myself on the back for a moment, but let's take a look at actually what I said in the previous video, shall we? Here we go. I'll pull this up. It was the August 2025 Ethereum predictions based on astrology. Let's listen here to what I said. Okay. August 8th, so we have this, major astrology. Mars is a malefic planet known as a malefic. Saturn is also known as a malefic. And so this, typically would be really negative and could dump the markets. We're already seeing a dump in the markets, a little rebound today. But the good news is around the same time, August 8th, we have Mars also trining Uranus. So this is actually really good that we have this, because the same planet Mars is making that positive trine to Uranus, which is the planet of technology, which includes crypto. So there's a possibility that, crypto could still be doing decently well. It doesn't mean we're not going to have a correction. It's certainly possible. Can't count that out. But it's really good that right after August 8th, we're getting this really positive astrology. Then on the 10th, we also get Mars trining Pluto. And Pluto is the planet of wealth. August 11th, we get Mercury. Mercury goes direct, so we could have a positive market shift in the positive direction. As we have had Mercury retrograde since late July, and that has translated to a dump in the markets, a correction, I'll say. We then have on the same day, August 11th, which gives even more of an indicator that after August 11th, things could get really good. Venus is conjuncting Jupiter. Venus, the planet of money, love, and what we value, conjunct Jupiter, the planet of expansion, which could be very good. So I was saying there's even more of an indicator that things will get better and better by August 11th. Let's see what happened here on the charts. So we go over here. We go around here. We went to August 10th. The market was deciding whether or not it wanted to break out. August 11th, we got a move all the way up to 4,400. And then I was saying the astrology just gets even better and better in the next week in August. And we have just broken out to, let's see, where did we got all the way to 4,638. Boom. Boom, guys. I like that. And if that's not a major market shift, I don't know what is. Okay, so We're doing pretty well on these predictions. Man, this is good for Ethereum. And when Ethereum does extremely well, typically the altcoins do extremely well. I also want to go to really quick. Another thing I was saying in this video is I also looked. This was really interesting. I looked at the not just only the Ethereum astrology, but I looked at the Ethereum ETF astrology. And I don't know anyone else in the world that's doing this. So tune into this channel, like this video, and let's hear what I said in the last video, which turned out to be quite accurate, if I may say so. Okay, let's take a look. Ethereum ETF. Now this could be very, very significant, as you know, these are the big companies that move lots and lots of money. So we have August 8th, Neptune sextiling the ETHA Mars, slight positive there. But August 11th, we're getting this, once again around this August, 11th. Well, now it's August 8th through August 11th. We're getting these really intense Pluto transits. Pluto opposing the ETHA progressing sun. So that could once again bring a major market shift. Could bring an explosive move. I mean, typically this would be negative. Let's see, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, because we have August 11th, we have Uranus sextiling the ETHA sun. Uranus, the planet of technology and crypto. This is very, very positive. Sextiling the ETHA sun. The sun is a very sensitive area on the chart. So we're getting these 3 transits, August 11th through August 12th, to the ETHA sun. We're getting, and then, it gets more positive on the 12th, Saturn trining the ETHA sun. And then after that, it just continues. So I was talking about how we got those 2 super positive transits to the ETHA sun. That's basically the Ethereum BlackRock ETF. On the same, on that 11th, we got that Pluto major transit there, opposing the progressing sun, which can bring explosive moves. And within 24 hours, we could say, because it happened very soon on the next day. And I always say, astrology is not 100% accurate. It's, give or take a few days, or even sometimes give or take a few weeks. But literally today on August 12th, we got this another major explosive move. But arguably, we already started getting major explosive moves early, around August 8th. And that's, give or take a few days. So pretty good there, guys. We're doing well. We're doing well in August so far. I am liking it. How are you guys liking this? Let me know in the comments below. And another really good thing that we want to see here is we're finally starting to get more volume. I was getting a little nervous. I mean, this is the daily exchange volume ever since December of last year. It's been going down. That's not what we want to see, because historically in the last bull run, it was going up and 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 up until we hit the market peak. Let's zoom out here. So it's been going down, and we got a nice uptick here in July. July was a great month, but then it started falling off, and it started falling down. Good news that it looks like we have printed a higher low. So that's really good. Is we want to continue moving up. You want to continue getting higher lows. As you can see, that's exactly what happened in the last bull run. Look at higher low, another higher low, and it kept going up and up and up and up. That's what we want to see for extended moves in a bull market. So we are liking that. All right, now if we look at the Ethereum versus Bitcoin, this has been on a massive downtrend for years, which has been absolutely brutal for Ethereum holders. But then, of course, recently, we bottomed out in May. Man, that was only May. That was recent. It wasn't that long ago. And man, we are moving up here. This is what we like to see. And I talked about in my last video how we could see something along the lines of these arrows, where we'll see, but we could see a pattern like this, where we go up, then we correct, and then we go up again, make a higher low, I guess one higher low and then a second higher low before we head off into a major move. So there is a chance we get a correction here coming up. I'm honestly thinking maybe we make a new all-time high, and then we get a correction after that. I think that would make the most sense, but we'll have to see. And the reason I'm thinking that is because that's basically what we did, in the previous bull market. well, let me find is let me go to the, let me zoom out again here. Trying to see. Okay, I gotta make this bigger. So we bottomed out. Oh jeez. Okay, I gotta make this work here. We bottomed out like, I guess here, and then we go up, and then we correct, and then we go up again, and then we correct. But yeah, so I mean, usually there's a good amount of choppiness, and this is Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So, before we get this major move right here where we just absolutely explode, typically, here's what I want to talk about. So we typically go up, we hit a peak here, we correct, then we correct again before making another big move up. So we could see, more choppy action. But overall, it's very bullish. Yeah, so we could see some choppy action like this. We will see. For those who are still on the sidelines, yeah, I mean, maybe it could be a good idea to wait for a correction because it could be coming. A healthy correction, nothing to worry about. For those who are holding, I would just continue to hold. And I'm, if I have more cash, if I can get more cash, I will add more to my position. If we correct down to somewhere like this, where that would be on the price chart, I'm not entirely sure, but it's certainly, I would guess it could be something, something around 4,000. There's a chance it could correct down to 4,000 again. But who knows? Maybe it's 4,100, maybe it's 3,800, give or take a few hundred. This basic support level's at 3,600, around there. So that's even possible too, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Because there's a good amount of, support and resistance at this level around 3,800. But, sometimes it doesn't even get that low. It might just go to like 4,000 or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Let me know in the comments what y'all are thinking. But yeah, we also got these ETFs, and man, boy, am I happy that right in time I took out cash and I put it into, I have cash in, some other accounts, and I stuffed it and I bought some Ethereum right here. And man, boy, am I happy I did that, because I just knew, I was like, man, Ethereum is so incredibly cheap down here, and it's such a high quality asset that I just can't imagine that it's not going to go up from here. Even though, some people were saying like, oh, well, this could be the end of the cycle. Bitcoin went past 100K. This could be it. But the fact that like Ethereum was so low while Bitcoin was so high, it just didn't make any sense. We didn't have any major euphoria going on. We didn't have, retail freaking out. We didn't have Coinbase, #1 on the App Store or anything like that. It wasn't even close. Yeah, so there wasn't like major euphoria to signal that we were at a top. So bought there, and then boom, explosive moves. What do you guys think? And really good news is we just had the core CPI readings, and the year-over-year CPI came out at 2.7. What was expected was 2.8, so we got a little bit lower, which is very, very nice. Very nice. Very nice, as Borat would say. Man, and because of that, I believe, the target probabilities for September 17th that we get a Fed cut, the Fed to cut rates just went up to 93%. So that's extremely, extremely bullish for markets. And we look at the S&P 500 breaking out into new all-time highs. We look at the NASDAQ breaking out into new all-time highs. We look at InVideo barely getting to new all-time highs. And then we look at the Russell 2000, which is extremely important for crypto, because if the Russell 2000 can break out and get a new all-time high, we got a long ways to go. We got a ways to go. It's actually getting pretty close. man, we are just starting to break out here potentially. So if the Russell 2000 continues to break out, then I believe Ethereum will continue, and that'll be good. You know, it'll just signal that we're getting closer and closer to an altcoin run. Because honestly, if the Russell 2000, even if it gets above this green line here, even if it gets above like 2,300, that could be an altcoin run. Not guaranteed, but especially if it gets a new all-time high, then that's like, boom. That's pretty much guaranteed an altcoin run. Dow Jones still has not hit an all-time high again, a new all-time high. So that as well, like if the Dow Jones can really break out and get a new all-time high, just like we're seeing with the S&P 500, then that'll look really good, and crypto will continue to skyrocket. So, but once again, that doesn't mean that we're not going to have corrections along the way, healthy corrections, and I would actually expect that. Bitcoin dominance is falling again. Wow. Wow. So, once again, this is extremely good for altcoins. Boom. Wow. We're just continuing to see further weakness on the Bitcoin dominance, which is extremely good for altcoins. So who is excited about your favorite altcoins getting closer and closer to an altcoin run? Wow. We have waited for this. We have waited. I mean, look at how long we've been waiting, guys. In fact, I actually compared to the previous bull run, the amount of time that we've been waiting. So, whoops. We go all the way back here. We look at this area over here, and January 2018, that was the end of the two bull runs ago. That since then, since that low, the altcoins, that was the end of the altcoin run. And then we had to wait 1,085 days until the next bull run started around December 2020, arguably, when Ethereum started breaking out, or when the Bitcoin dominance peaked. And we compare that to this time, where, you know, arguably the market, let's see, Bitcoin dominance. I mean, the bear market started around here. Bitcoin topped out around, and Bitcoin and altcoins topped out around November 8th right there. So I'm going to move this blue line over here. And we've been waiting for longer, much longer than the last cycle. The last cycle was 1,085 days. We've already been waiting for, wait for it, 1,372 days. So we've been waiting arguably almost 300 days longer than we had to wait in the last market cycle. Man, some people might be thinking, man, why do we deserve this? Like, this is terrible. We've had to wait so long. And though that's very true, there is a chance, guys, that this could be an even bigger run than we even saw last time. There's a chance. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. There's a chance, and I have this take profits down here. There's a chance that if we get all the way down here, man, holy moly, we might see an even bigger run than last time. It's certainly possible. Especially if we get, well, really, if we get below this white line here, that could be an even bigger run than last time. All right. And if we look at the tether dominance, you know, when tether falls, let's zoom in. With tether, when tether falls down, that means altcoin run. And so it looks like we could be heading down here to this, somewhere in here. Now, if we get to this resistance line, that could be a nice run there. But if we even get below it, that could even bring us into an extended bull run cycle, meaning we could head well into next year. I'm definitely not saying that's guaranteed. It's just a possibility. And I know some people are definitely considering that. So that would be a very, very excited situation. But we have to stay in the present, right? We have to stay in the present moment. We're in August 12th right now. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still have the September total lunar eclipse. That's this blue line. That is a little concerning because when you look at Ethereum, when we get these blue lines, total lunar eclipses, it's very bearish. We get a bear market We got a bear market in 2018. Here, we got a massive dump in 2021. Huge correction here. Then we got a bear market in May 2022. And then, you know, back in March, I warned you guys about this back in February that we could be seeing a big dump with this blue line, this total lunar eclipse. You know, I was very concerned about this, you know, September 8th total lunar eclipse, but man, we are looking quite good heading into this total lunar eclipse. But like I've been saying, I think we could have a nice correction heading towards the September 8th total lunar eclipse. The timing of it, let's take a look at this chart. This is from Jason Pizzino. Love what Jason's doing over at TIA. And, you know, this chart shows, let's see if I can make it bigger. This lovely chart shows that this is the S&P 500 20-year averages. And so typically what we see is the red line. It's interesting that we're getting new all-time highs right now. But typically what we see is a correction, which is really towards the second half of August, perhaps even in September. September we get a little uptick, but then a big correction, maybe second half of September. So we get a possible dump in August, and then a possible dump in a bigger dump in September. So that's what I'm leaning towards. So it's certainly possible that, you know, maybe towards the end of August, maybe around August, I'm not sure exactly, maybe August 20th, August 23rd, we could get a correction, but a very healthy correction. For those who are already holding, I would say don't worry about it, just keep holding. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep holding, and I might add more cash into positions if we get a nice healthy correction. Okay, let's look at the fear and greed 68. So we're still not getting super frothy. Still have not gotten into extreme greed, which means we probably still have higher to go. Let's look at the altcoin season chart. Looks like that's not loading for us. Okay. But let's see what questions we have in the comments. Hello. What do you see for the Solana astrology? Okay, I'm going to come out with a Solana video soon. It's looking good right now, but there are some concerns in the future. Do you expect a big dump at the September eclipse and a rise after? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, I already talked about that. Yeah, we could easily see a healthy correction. What's up? Algorand is slow. Okay, I don't know anything about Algorand. I'm not holding it, but yeah, I mean, there are a lot of laggers. There's a lot of laggers. You know, we had Bitcoin season for a long time. I mean, this is arguably maybe the longest Bitcoin season we've ever seen. I mean, yeah, like I was saying, this Bitcoin season has been really, really long. We've been waiting for incredibly a long amount of time. But it could even be taken all the way to September 2022 that this big move up for the Bitcoin dominance started. And arguably, it could have ended on June 23rd. Wow. But we'll have to see. But arguably, we might even have Ethereum dominance coming in here, where Ethereum's just taking the lion's share, at least this month, of the market. As you know, even compared to Bitcoin, Ethereum's been going up a lot. And we've been waiting a long time for this. You know, Ethereum's gone up more than 100% against Bitcoin, which is extremely strong. Whereas XRP has been kind of slowing down a little bit. Sui's still a little bit lagging. Solana's playing catch up. Solana still has some work to do. Yeah. So, you know, even Solana versus Bitcoin. So I'll be coming out with a Solana video soon. But man, Solana's got some more work to do. All right. So I'll keep you guys updated. Definitely subscribe if you want to stay tuned on what my upcoming Solana astrology videos coming up here. It's going to be really, really interesting. Altcoin run, you know, and possible profit taking opportunities. So what is your current M2 money supply offset? Oh, I'm not an expert at that, but I actually haven't looked at the M2 in a while because I just know it kept going up. But even with that, let's see, you know, I actually haven't looked at it in a while. But let's see, let's look at it versus Ethereum. So it actually kind of pauses out. So my offset is 108 days. I don't know the accuracy of this, but it's fairly close. But even here, it even shows that we could get a little pause right here until the end of August. That's interesting. Now, that could be a pause for Bitcoin. And it could be a pause for altcoins. But, you know, as Ethereum is just heading up and up. But like I said, it's, you know, easily possible Ethereum could get a nice healthy correction. So it could definitely be second half of August. It keeps going up until October 17th and then a correction. So yeah, really interesting. Interesting that it shows a correction heading into November. That's really interesting. So we'll have to keep our eyes on this. All right, so definitely subscribe, because that's the number one thing you can do if you appreciate what I'm putting out for free. Support the channel. Check out my links in the comments below if you want to join the Crypto Astro Mastermind. And also the retreat coming up in November. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Keep an eye out for the Solana video coming up soon. Peace out.